the federal budget proposal kind of came out Monday, at least what they're hoping to push through. It's now gone to voting, right, David? So what were your kind of main takeaways from the federal budget, and what can people expect to see as far as changes coming up in the market?
I mean, it being the first budget in 2 years that the feds have put out is, certainly interesting. Obviously, historically high deficit that you'll see and big spending coming out of the pandemic. From a real estate standpoint, which is obviously what we're focusing on, some interesting ones. Nationwide vacancy tax on vacant properties to stem the tide of speculative buying by foreign buyers or even of, individuals within Canada. I thought that was interesting. There's, it's been going on. Vancouver, I think, announced it. They've had it for a few years now. Toronto brought it in, but the fact they're going to put it nationwide, I think, is a good thing. At least on from my end, my perspective. The other was, what the hell were we talking about right before this? I'm missing the other main one. Yeah, on the budget. Shoot.
What else were we talking about?
The stress testing?
I can't even remember.
Stress test?
No. We did that last week.
Oh, no, but that was the luxury goods tax.
Vacancy tax.
Yeah, vacancy. We'll kind of see how things roll from that into all other areas. I mean, it's not something that vacancy tax isn't something that's going to be a drastic change in supply, but or properties on the market, stemming the tide there. But combine that with this new stress test for 20% and up, which, really is kind of looking more at the higher end price points and what that stress test is affecting. It's not affecting anyone with high ratio mortgages, meaning less than 20% down. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of flows through everything else. And also obviously this additional, crazy spending. I think it's about $400 billion that is tabled for the budget. And a lot of that's, spending within infrastructure in Canada. So that'll be an interesting thing to see how that bumps up different economies and how that affects real estate. And they also announced, recently last week that there was an article talking about the increase in immigration. They've opened up the borders more for 2021, 400,000. They've increased that target for immigration to 400,000 new people to Canada, which is a great thing. The problem that we've keep talking about, and Minister Freeland even touched on, is that the main issue being supply, and none of these rules and none of these changes with vacancy tax or anything don't address supply, which is the biggest issue. You bring, we have 400,000 coming to Canada, which is great. However, you need to house them. And this then pushes, they need housing, affordable housing. And then this pushes the people that are already in affordable housing. Where do they go? And so I know there is, I think it's about $1.25 billion allocated for increasing affordable housing, but it'll be interesting to see how that ripple effect has on the affordable housing area, but then also into that first time home buyer or people getting into the market of owning and not renting, and kind of that ripple effect, how that these other changes, whether they make any impact. So,
and I guess a big part of this too is like new build construction that's like not happening as aggressively as it has in the past. So how in the world do we accommodate all this immigration? So it can't be all resale. I mean, I know there's still new builds happening, but it's just not nearly to the capacity that it was before because of what's been going on and the cost.
You just need flat out new product. I was speaking to a builder yesterday, small builder doing custom homes, and their build cost per square foot is $350. They're building higher end homes. This was 2.5 years ago, build costs were in and around, $175 or $225 a square foot on, going high end. They're seeing $350 right now based on increased costs in windows and lumber, doors, anything manufacturing, anything wood product. Plywood. Yeah. It's, costs have really, escalated.
I was on site of property yesterday, and we were looking at kind of insulation and things like that. And there was a piece of, maybe 5 foot by 5 foot plywood on the wall. And I looked at it and he was like, wow, you can just rip that down. And I thought to myself, that's a $1,000 piece of plywood right there. You know, we got to put that on eBay or something. Yeah, supplies are through the roof right now. Even people wanting to do home renovations. You know, I know like all supplies are down. Home Depot is a disaster. Anyone who's dealt with Home Depot in the last few months, you know, as far as the main supply chain is a disaster. And I know even you know, I was speaking to a small builder as well this week, and they were saying that they've had to go into deep, like rural parts of Quebec in order to get wood. Like they can't even get them. Like typically they go across the border, get them from some companies just on the Quebec side. Now they're having to go into like deep rural Quebec just to get supplies, which is, you know, pretty wild. And now, you know, if you're getting checked at the border saying that you need some wood, that could slow things down even further. So
I have a client that is trying to do renovations to his duplex that he just bought and update the entire basement. They can't get lumber for that. They are like, there's none available, and their project is completely stalled because of it. It's you know, and that's just small renovation, and yeah, it's certainly the supply chain issue is ongoing, and I mean, who the hell knows when that's going to let up as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole, you know, budget, the potential budget based on a lot of these things is just like, it's not going to. Anyways, nothing's going as planned, obviously.
No, and rates are, you know, Bank of Canada held their overnight rate as well this week. So that was something that was, you know, kind of relevant for us, but just means that, you know, they expect still, I think it was end of 2022. They're saying now they probably will increase that overnight rate, which is still another year and a bit that you can benefit from the low variables and low variable rates and so on.
And that's only if the economy expands at a drastic rate that they'll touch it end of 2022.
Yeah, so they're thinking they had to keep an eye on inflation, which was kind of the main factor there, and they want to make sure that they're not increasing it too fast. Where it, you know, there's still a lot of people that are in tough positions financially right now because of the pandemic and restrictions and so on, and you know, you can't raise them too fast, too quick, too fast, or else or too high, too fast, or otherwise that creates a whole other wheel of problems, right?
A wheel of problems.
A wheel of
problems.
A whole wheel of cheese.
Oh.